maybe we would have fought for a long time. The exclusive skill bookmark can now be activated. The number 2 bookmark has been activated. The level of the bookmark skill is low, shortening the activation time. Activation time, 1 minute. Well, I had this. My bones might be torn out of my body, or my blood might be split. Your understanding of the character is low, so only part of the character's skill is activated. Weapons training level 1 has been activated. But it didn't. To be exact, I couldn't afford it. I used all the powers I had. I squeezed out all my strength and ran through the tentacles. The landscape around me flashed by. The only thing left was the afterimage of sharp white light and the sense of cutting something. Your understanding of the character Lee Hyung-sung has increased. The number 2 bookmark has been disabled. I felt I lost strength. I poured everything I had in one blow. Then after a while, I heard a trembling voice in the air. Constellations, did you see that? I didn't see wrong. It was the appearance of Dokja Biryu, who had forgotten his duties. In fact, it wasn't strange to be surprised. A few constellations are doubting their eyes. The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon is flaring fiercely. It was a powerful grade 7 demon lying down with the damaged tentacles in front of me. The constellation, prisoner of the golden headband, pulls his hair as if he's pleased. 500 coins have been sponsored. The severed tentacles lay on the ground, and the surrounding ground rats had long been killed or fled in the aftermath of the fight. Only the Dark Keeper lay breathing roughly on the ground as his lips twitched. Originally, the 7th grade demon was an enemy I couldn't cope with. Thus, I was prepared. I wasn't as strong as Yu Jung-ok, and I didn't have a good sponsor like Lee Hyung-sung. The obsessive-compulsive constellations praise your readiness. 200 coins have been sponsored. It was just that the information I had was more advantageous than others. Sometimes information was more powerful than anything in the world. The very result of that information was the white light sword now in my hand. An ether blade? In the beginning scenarios? Constellations, is this a true story? Fortunately, I didn't have to explain as the Dokja was in full swing. Ether blade. It was the flagship technique of the incarnation supported by the highest level sponsor. The technique was often called Energy Blade in Miriam novels. To be exact, it isn't a real ether blade. The real one is much stronger than this. That's right, strictly speaking, it's the broken fate that absorbed white pure star energy and made the blade. Looking at the Dokja, he wasn't a complete idiot. Amazing. There was this guy in that brat Bi-hyung's channel? As if waiting for this, the Blade of Faith was turned off. Broken Faith's durability has run out. This item is no longer available. It was a pity, but it did its part. Give me the compensation for finishing this sub-scenario. Oh, that's right, wait. Biryu hurriedly entered something in the air, and a message soon popped up. You have met the conditions to clear the sub-scenario. You have earned 500 coins. A handful of constellations admire your scenario. The reward was smaller than I thought. It was natural because I hadn't killed the Dark Keeper. By the way, are you not going to kill that guy? Biryu looked at me with expectant eyes. I let out an exhausted breath and glanced at the Keeper on the ground. Then I kindly said, I have a non-killing ideology. Non-killing? I'm not someone who kills easily. The Constellation Demon Light Judge of Fire admires it. 100 coins have been sponsored. Of course, it was a lie. The Constellation Secret Plotter is smiling slyly at you. 100 coins have been sponsored. The bewildered Biryu stammered. But won't the reward be great if you kill this guy? You'll be the first guy to kill a grade 7 demon. I'll give you 7,000 coins. Do you know how big 7,000 coins is? I won't kill it. I need to open the compensation box, so please step aside. I removed the irritating Biryu from in front of me. The Dark Keeper wasn't the real reason I came here, so... The 7th grade demon, Dark Keeper, was killed. What? Now I can be strong. Kim Dokja, you son of a bitch. You didn't know this. Han Myung-oh was holding a knife. I had a rough idea of what happened. Then the explosive messages were heard in my ears. A 7th grade demon has been hunted for the first time. An impossible feat has been accomplished. You have earned 8,000 coins. Contribution, Kim Dokja, Han Myung-oh. Perhaps these messages were shared with Han Myung-oh. I only received a few coins because I didn't feel the finishing blow, but I could see Han Myung-oh dying with happiness at the messages. Non-killing ideology? What a stupid guy. What's killing this burning world? There can't be a person like you, you know. Then Han Myung-oh stopped. Now he'd know what he'd done. The 7th grade demon, Dark Keeper, has been killed, and the Demon King Asmodeus has noticed the murderer's presence. The Demon King Asmodeus will chase the one who had dealt the finishing blow until they're dead. The Demon King Asmodeus has put a terrible curse on the person who dealt the final blow. Final blow? Han Myung-oh. What's this message? Han Myung-oh cried out fearfully. The Constellation Secret Plotter admires your wickedness. Didn't I tell you? I intentionally didn't kill it. The Constellation Secret Plotter has recommended your scenario to Starstream. Han Myung-oh stared into the air like he had lost his soul. The curse of the Demon King Asmodeus was the most terrible thing for a killer. I didn't know what it was, but it was surely terrible. I looked back and saw Lee Gil-young and Yu Sang-ah looking this way with bemused expressions. I smiled as if nothing had happened. We'll open the rewards together. After a while, we searched through the treasures and pulled out one each. I got this. I have this. Yusanga and Lee Gil-young found a small bracelet and old shield respectively. Magic power recovery bracelet. Old iron shield. They were both D-grade items, but it was better than nothing. The magic power recovery bracelet was useful for everyone, and the old iron shield would be good for Lee Hyung-sung. It was difficult to ignore the iron in the name. This iron was much harder than Earth's iron. Yusanga spoke with a slight disappointment. It's less than I thought. Less. Her words weren't wrong. It was too shameful to call this a treasure trove. Yu Jung-hook, that guy who left yesterday, had probably gone through this place. He knew he'd be tired fighting the demons, so he took a chance and stole the treasures. In the end, we were robbing a place that was already robbed. It's okay, because the main thing is still here. I looked at the black box in the center of the warehouse. We didn't waste any more time and opened the box. The thing inside the box was a stove. It was small enough to fit into a pocket, and it was shameful to call it a stove. Magic power stove. As expected, it was still here. This item, in fact, was the key item in this sub-scenario. Magic power stove can only be attained once per person. Obviously, Yu Jung had taken one, so there was only 2 magic power stoves total. What is that thing? Well, I think I know a bit about its purpose. I purposely trembled and activated the stone with magic power and raised the dead ground rat's leg. It was funny since it didn't fit the size of the plate of food, but in 5 seconds, a remarkable change happened to the leg of the ground rat. Oh, a delicious smell! It was a sweet smell, and the leg of the ground rat changed to a golden color. Meat! Lee Gil-young cried out excitedly. Yusanga asked urgently, Can we eat this? I'll try it first. I grabbed the greasy hind leg and dug into the meat. The juice was round from the flesh. I forgot to chew and close my eyes. Tasting was different from reading in a book. A few constellations are drooling. The constellations that sponsor you 100 coins. The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon has swallowed its saliva. The constellation Prison the Golden Headband is biting its nails. The messages continuously popped up. Indeed, eating broadcasts were the best. Everyone was united in front of food. Eat it. I think it's okay. The 2 people rushed toward the meat as soon as I spoke. They hadn't had a proper meal for 3 days, so they'd be quite hungry. Han Myung-oh recovered, then came over hesitantly. Dokja, I went crazy for a second. Eat. Don't worry about the other thing. Thank you. You'll become a ghost after eating. What? Han Myung-oh's complexion turned white as death. I said it as a joke, but Han Myung-oh really would die. Asmodee's pursuit was even hard for Yu Jung-oh to overcome. We each took one leg and started to eat. We were eating together because we were hungry after everything that happened. Humans couldn't help it. Everyone ate the meal in silence. Was it due to the light spreading gently from the magic power stove? I was feeling a bit sentimental. Killing something and eating in order to live. This was the life of a human. It had always been like this, but I wonder why it suddenly felt so fresh. Suddenly I looked up and met Yusanga's eyes. Yusanga came to her senses and suddenly cried out. I'm pathetic. Huh? Dokja worked so hard and I'm just eating like a pig. I was no help at all. No, Yusanga-shi, that's... By the way, how does Dokja-shi know all this? You know how to cook beast and... that. Indeed. It must be because you read fantasy novels, right? Really, I didn't know the world was going to be like this. My silly self was studying Spanish. I felt somehow strange when I heard Yusanga say this. I opened my mouth to comfort her. It's because Yusanga-shi studied foreign languages that you were able to learn the language of the demons. Of course, it wasn't very helpful. I see. Thank you, Dokja-shi. I smiled at Yusanga and got up from where I was sitting. The party was immersed in eating again. I took a break and headed for the back of the party. In fact, the magic stove was important, but my real purpose was a separate item. I looked closely at the black box that contained the magic power stove. It was this. There's no doubt about it. Yu Jung-hook, who took the magic power stove, probably didn't know about it. The real treasure of the warehouse was this black box. In the original story, Yu Jung-hook only knew about this after the 6th round of regression. Who was the first to discover this? Was it Heavenly Maid Hori? Well, it's hard to remember. It wasn't accurate, but it was probably something like this. Over there are strange boxes in the earlier area. If you put something in there... At this time, I met Yusanga's eyes and asked, What is this box for? Huh? Oh, this... Yusanga said as she looked at the box. There were unknown characters written on the box. Could she read them? Random item box? Damn, this is why foreign language proficiency was important. Oh, so that's what it means. I was a little bit embarrassed. Yusanga cried out, Quickly use it, Dokja-shi! Is it okay? Nod. Lee Gil-young nodded vigorously. You don't need to worry about us. All these items are yours. That's obvious. Yes, I caught on, so let's do it quickly. Then I'll use it. A few constellations are nodding at your decision. I took the nucleus of the 7th grade demon from my pocket. I had cut it from the dead body of the Dark Keeper. In addition, I took it out Broken Faith would have run out of durability. According to the original plot, the use of this box was simple. Who knew there'd be a limited edition coin item? I placed the demon core and the Broken Faith into the box. Can't believe my words? It's real. Put sub-items in there and closed the box. In fact, I didn't know what would happen when I put in these 2 items, but I was certain something huge would come out. A top item will unconditionally come out. A moment later, a dazzling light burst out from the closed box.